Hey, this is Omar Gosh TV.
And this is Mo Sargi.
And you are watching Jessie's Histories and Mysteries. Yeah!
Alongside the Appalachian Mountains in Smithville, Tennessee, lies a river called Caney Creek. This area has its share of ghostly apparitions and horrific tales. For video number 3 of my Spooktober series this month, I traveled 3 hours to Smithville to check out these stories and hauntings for myself. I arrived shortly before 6 p.m. at Canoe the Caney's office and checked in for my adventure. While waiting, food and beverages were for sale at their food truck, Famous Jay's Barbecue. Here you can order barbecue plates, nachos, and tacos while also roasting a marshmallow on the fire. You can also enjoy hot chocolate or apple cider. 6 p.m. arrived and we boarded a bus to a secret location that I've sworn on pain of death not to reveal. I'm just kidding about that. But seriously, I feel the location needs to be kept under wraps unless you go on the trip for various reasons. Filming of the ghost stories told was strictly forbidden, but there were breaks where we were allowed to film a few things and take pictures. I will share a few stories and history that was told, but please understand that if you want the full history and all of the stories, you need to go on this trip. I promise you won't regret it. I highly recommend it. I had more fun on this trip than any other I have been on so far while filming. We started off our tour by being dropped off in a dark wooded area. Our guide collected a brightly lit torch and walked us forward. After a few seconds of walking, I was surprised to discover that we were walking in an old cemetery. Walking through an old cemetery by torchlight during spooky season? Hell yeah! How cool is that? Our mysterious storyteller introduced himself as Sam. He did not want to reveal his real name, nor did he allow pictures to be taken of him. He was a superb storyteller. Picture trapper from Mountain Monsters leading you around, telling you all of the tales and folklore he has known throughout his years of living in the area. He also shared truly terrifying tales of things that occurred in the cemetery, such as him being pushed to the ground once, severely injuring his knee. He said everyone saw someone push him, but no one was there. Shadows and spirits are seen in the surrounding dark woods. The gatekeeper of the cemetery, or as Sam referred to him, the groundskeeper, guards the cemetery with an extreme devotion. If you didn't know, folklore has it that every cemetery has a gatekeeper. It is usually the first person buried in the graveyard. Gatekeepers make sure that the cemetery is not vandalized and that the dead are treated with respect. The graves at this cemetery were saved from flooding for a dam such as the ones I featured in my Lost Cemeteries of Appalachia series. Could these souls not be at rest because their original graves were disturbed? The gatekeeper is not an entity to be messed with, as one unfortunate young man found out. For that story, you will need to go on the trip. I can tell you that the gatekeeper is seen there a lot, along with shadows in the woods. There's also folklore of a Native American curse on the land. I filmed a short clip of the woods with my blue light. I feel that I captured several things here. Here, I present the clip uncut as it was taken. Next, I will show you a slowed down version of this, and also will highlight some areas where I think I captured some things. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. After leaving the cemetery, Sam told us tales about the sunken town and cemetery we would be canoeing over. Something that really stuck with me is when he said that some people refused to leave their homes when the area was flooded to make way for the dam. They even went so far as to tie themselves to their beds. Can you believe it? Next, we visited a haunted playground where 3 ghost children killed a young girl. The tale will cast shivers down your spine. In this clip, I will show you a tree that is said to represent the 3 ghost children. This clip shows a very scary tree that looks like a mix between a cross, a pitchfork, and a trident. This tree stands in the area where the little girl was killed. Look closely at this clip that I took of the surrounding area. Do you see anything? After being regaled by more spine-chilling stories, we went to the area where we would board our canoes. We were told a story here about a young woman that tragically fell to her death. She passed away as her boyfriend placed a ring on her finger. She said she would always wait for him. He never married and is still living. A weeping willow was placed at the spot where she died. To hear about how all of this came to pass, you will have to go on the trip. Some things just need to be heard from the actual storyteller. Next, we loaded up in our candlelit canoes. Since I came by myself, I was the only one in my canoe. This was an interesting feat for me, but I managed as best I could. That's a story all by itself. We paddled to the sunken town and over a cemetery where the dead are still silently sleeping in their underwater graves. This is the cemetery where some of the graves were moved into above-ground cemetery we just left. Only the rich could afford to have their loved ones reinterred, as I've said before in other videos I've made about situations like this. Having electric power is a wonderful privilege, but it does make you wonder, at what cost? At one point I came to a stop. While looking over the water and the clear skies with bright stars, I couldn't help but think what a beautiful place this would have been to live. I got out my SB7 spirit box and conducted a short session before leaving the area. Here is what I captured. My name is Jessica. I mean no harm or disrespect. Would you like to talk to me? Hello. How are you? Do you live here in this area? Whew. Oh my God, the boat wave. Damn it. Whew.
Are you one of the people buried here under the water? Did your house used to be here? I think it was oh, I'm so sorry about what happened. Are you happy now where you are? Is there anything you'd like to say before I go? Hello. I wish you love, light, and peace. Goodbye.
After about 3 hours, our trip of ghostly tales and canoeing had come to an end, and we boarded our bus back to Canoe the Caney's office. Most people left and others were boarding to go on to the next trip. Thinking about the long drive awaiting me to return home, I realized that my stomach was growling. I really hadn't eaten anything at all so far that day. I purchased some barbecue nachos and sat down with a few others as we shared some ghostly experiences from our past. The staff and visitors were so friendly, it felt like going back home and sitting by the fire outside and just enjoying a peaceful night. After eating, I got a cup of apple cider and began my journey back home. If you live near Smithville, Manchester, McMinnville, or Winchester, Tennessee, or if you'll be visiting near these areas, I highly recommend the Haunted Canoe Trip. They have this every year. I plan on returning, and I'm hoping Kevin will go with me next time. Who cares that I didn't get to film much? This was all about the enjoyable time of hearing stories, canoeing, and just having fun with new friends. If you decide to go, tell them I sent you. And who knows, maybe you will see me back there when you go. Stay spooky, friends, and I will see you on the next one.
TN.